生命的灵光与色彩。
The spiritual light and color of life. Jiefeng. January 18, 2007. Translated by Transin. Both the material and the non-material show light and color. Everything in the universe has feelings and psychic energy. Life is a non-material structure with spirituality, and every light and color is the result of its structure. Although both life beings and non-life beings have spiritual lights, those of life beings possess initiative, whereas those of non-life beings only reflect light from spiritual sources. The lights and colors of materials are visible, but the lights and colors of non-materials need to be experienced with spiritual perception. The stronger that a vitality is, the richer its color will be, and the brighter its radiance becomes. The spiritual light of a life has color which is determined by its non-material life structure. Life has levels. Although different levels of it may embody the same spiritual lights, their colors are quite different. Strong or weak of spiritual lights just indicates life beings waxing and waning, not their qualities, whereas their colors indicate their qualities, not their strengths or weakness. People can be divided into ignorant persons, laity, mortals, sages, and celestials. Celestials include saints, lofty people, and pure people, but also goblins and devils. This kind of classification is not based on the external characteristics of life beings but rather on their intentions and qualities. Just as with diamonds, rubies, sapphires, opals, olivines, moonstones, aquamarines, tourmalines, amethyst, and other gemstones. All of them are stones, but their structures and qualities vary. Everyone has their spiritual light. Those of ignorant persons, laity, mortals, and sages are relatively weak, while those of saints, lofty people, pure people, goblins, and demons are much stronger. Ordinary people's spiritual colors are flat. Those of immortals are bright and intense. Generally speaking, ordinary people's spiritual lights are white with faint light, like a mass of vapor, but sages are faint-colored, which are often changing. With the perfection of structure and the purification of quality, the spiritual lights gradually show into a fixed color. Saints, lofty people, and pure people show colors of red, yellow, and purple. Goblins show blue and green. Devils show black. Buddhas, including super-celestial beings, show a wide spectrum of 7 colors. As spiritual lights belong to the non-material, they are invisible to naked eyes and are only visible to those with Buddha eyes. Generally speaking, auspicious lights indicate the life quality of heaven, whereas dark or absent light indicates one of hell. We can sense invisible, spiritual light and color when we socialize with others. If we feel fresh, open and clear, bright and beautiful, happy, warm, cheerful, inspired, and safe when reading someone's aura or articles, then this person's spiritual light is auspicious. If we feel pain, oppression, heaviness, discouragement, are unsettled, and feel negativity, depression, and worry, then this person's is dark. To make your spiritual light become more auspicious, you must perfect the non-material structure of your life. The more perfect it is, the more auspicious it will be, and people will sense your degree of perfection. If our consciousness is clear and ordered, then colorful light will show. If our consciousness is disordered, then colorful light will not show. We can be enlightened from a magnet or from ordinary iron. The former has polarity, the latter does not. The difference between them lies in the arrangement of their molecules. The former is orderly, the latter is not. Of course, our environment can inspire us as well. Just as when we go shopping, some shops are clean and tidy, bright and lively, and welcome us inside, while others are disorganized and gloomy, and make us feel oppressed. The non-material structures of life are like those shops. Some people's life structures are like green hills with clear water, bright and colorful, while others are more like barren hills with muddy rivers, barren grounds, and evil. Different structures present different spiritual lights and colors. Looking up to heaven, we only see the blue sky and white clouds, but cannot see the concealed infinitely natural scenery. This is because our spiritual perception is too weak for our consciousness to enter into the non-material world. What do we see as we gaze across the vast Gobi Desert? Most people just see sand, but some see the grand phenomenon of heat currents flowing across the Earth's surface, while others even see mirages. The longer you concentrate on something, the more you will understand it and find things that are invisible to others. I hope that everyone glows with auspicious and colorful spiritual lights, and that everyone will see them.
生命的生死新概念
New understanding on the life and death of life. Jiefeng. April 3, 2011. Translated by Transin. The issues of life and death with regard to life do not exist. The only issue is that of conversion. So-called life and death are only false appearances which have mistaken the existence and disappearance of the carriers of life for those of life itself. It is a misunderstanding of life to say that it is born or dies. Since people do not understand the whole truth of life and its length, they define it mistakenly by way of their limited vision. Mooring bacteria have no idea of the first and last days of months. Cicadas are unaware of spring and fall. Bacteria that emerge in the morning and die in the evening have no experience of what days are like. Cicadas that are born in spring and die in fall cannot understand the passage of seasons. Butterflies who fly and dance among flowers will never know the existence of winter. Humans cannot see the past or future, so humans always measure the length and depth of life against the more transient life. How do we react to morning bacteria saying that there are no dark nights? What do we think when cicadas say that there is no spring or fall? How do we feel when people tell us that there are no previous or future lives? People often talk about life and death by saying that someone is born or has died. Actually, what they refer to is only the birth, growth, and death of their flesh, the carriers of lives, not their life. Therefore, it is necessary to redefine the life and death of life. A person's downward conversion from the human world to a lower life space is death. A person's horizontal transmigration back to the human world is half death. A person's upward conversion from the human world to a higher life space is life. More specifically, a person is dead if they transmigrate to the plant world, the animal world, hell, the frozen layer, or the inflamed layer. A person is half dead and half alive if they transmigrate back to the human world. A person gains life if they advance toward any of the 3 levels of heaven, the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, or the celestial islands continent of the Elysium world. It is up to everyone to choose for themselves whether they go to death, half-death, or life. Hence, we can see that some people are marching downward, some are lost on the road, and some are proceeding to a more wonderful rebirth.
答复王神医关于灵魂的咨询
What is soul and the features of souls? A reply to the consultation on soul from Dr. Wang. Jiefeng. October 11, 2006. Translated by Transin. Let me introduce Dr. Wang Runquan of One Clinic of Jiuquan City, Gansu Province. He acquired the nickname of Miracle Working Doctor from his noble medical ethics and strong healing skills. I had the honor of meeting with him in June of last year and witnessed his method of treating patients, which was truly quick and efficient and priced fairly and reasonably. Humility and open-mindedness are commonalities of all wise people, and Dr. Wang is no exception. Both of us were sincerely impressed after our brief conversation, and I entertained a couple phone calls from him, including one yesterday morning concerning the question of souls. I posted my understanding of souls below for him to read when he went online. At the dock we can often hear someone shouting, "Look! The ship is coming!" Standing in the station platform we can hear someone saying, "The train is coming." At the airport we say the plane is taking off. The question is, what commonalities do ships, trains, and planes all share? Can any of them come and go by themselves? Certainly not. The reason that they move about is that they have souls which control them, people. Without people, they would be nothing more than structures of energy and aggregates of matter. A daughter said to her mother, "Look, Daddy is coming home." A passersby shouted in panic, "Run, a vicious dog is running this way." A young girl cried to her older sister, "My rabbit ran away." We need to ask what trait the dad, the wild animal, and the rabbit share. Why can they move? And why are they no longer able to do so when they die but their legs, vital organs, and heads are still there? The reason is that they can only move when souls inhabit their bodies. After their souls leave them, they are no longer able to move even though their physical structures are intact. They become the same as those ships, trains, and airplanes without people. So the physical structures are nothing more than aggregates of materials formed by energy attached to them. They are vessels. The driver of the train gets off and leaves it motionless and dead, but the soul of the train, the driver, is not dead. Just as a soul leaves its flesh motionless and dead, but the soul of the flesh does not die. The Western research of near-death and numerous instances of reincarnation tell us loudly and clearly that human souls still exist after their physical deaths, and that they can find other carriers to continue to exercise their missions just as drivers can replace cars and continue driving. Many people have witnessed the phenomena of soul infusion. Very normal people's voices change suddenly along with their pronunciation and intonation, and they say something very strange but have no idea why. This proves that another soul has expressed itself by borrowing this carrier. Many people have such experiences in which they clearly perceive that other persons are talking to them in their minds, and they can even remember and write down what they tell them. Jane Roberts Seth and her receiver, who disseminated New Era information, and Neil, the author of Conversations with God, their behaviors have proved the independent existence of souls, but what exactly are they? The answer is that souls are non-material structures with spirituality, and share the following 8 basic characteristics. Souls have spiritual nature and are alive. Souls are non-material, invisible, inaudible, untouchable, and immeasurable in the material world. Souls are weightless. Souls are consciousnesses. Souls function in the material world only when they are attached to specific carriers. Souls have memory. Souls have regional properties. Souls can penetrate and enter any substances from their gaps like beams and waves. Souls are consciousnesses that contain psychic energy, but are not the psychic energy themselves. The psychic energy is the source of life and is found everywhere in the universe, whereas souls are just small psychic energy regiments. Not only can souls take people as their carriers, but they can also inhabit other animate and inanimate objects such as houses, vehicles, computers, trees, stones, and so on as their carriers as well. Whether souls go to heaven, hell, or back to earth depends on their contents, namely their consciousnesses. The reincarnation of souls abides strictly to the management and arrangement of Tao. All the reincarnations of souls must pass through the continent for 3 realms lives to pass through. This is a filter with different densities at different layers through which the souls will enter their corresponding spaces. In Life Genuine, we usually identify consciousnesses instead of souls for easier understanding and refinement.
梦境和生命空间
Dream World in the Space of Life. Jiefeng. August 15, 2017. Translated by Treasure. Suppose that you could either sleep and have a wonderful but illusory dream for 80 years, or that you could study, work, and struggle in reality for the same 80 years. Which would you rather do? Enjoy the unreal dream or struggle through reality? It is the same 80 years. What is the difference between the real and the unreal one? Are both not experiences of life? To life, there is no real or unreal problem. Where were you when you were dreaming? Is everything in a dream not our reality? Is the feeling in the dream not real? Are the feeling and experience of annoyance, worry, joy, and fear not the same as they are in our reality? Actually, life is also a dream. However, our thoughts corner us stubbornly in a supposed reality, and we ignore the other space of life. Human lives die, but life does not. Life will continue to live on in a dream without a body. The point is, which dreams shall we dream? Pleasant ones or nightmares? The space of life is infinite, and the time of life is also infinite. Everyone dreams. What happens in those dreams? It may be unthinkable and unimaginable, but you can reunite with dead loved ones, allow yourself to fly, miraculously transform into things and situations that you long for, and you may even make love in your dreams, and the feelings of making love in dreams are more intense, comfortable, unforgettable, and impressive than of those in reality. What is unimaginable in reality can be realized in dreams. You can even attain magic powers and spells. Why not live a wonderful dream? What matters is how we can make long-term wonderful dreams. Associated with our consciousness is the ability to have a nightmare or a pleasurable dream. All the situations and scenarios in our dreams are created by our consciousnesses. In other words, they are related to the qualities of our lives. If our non-material structure is perfect, then we can have great dreams, while defective non-material structures lead to nightmares. Question: where are heaven and hell? Answer: in our consciousness, the non-material structures of our lives. If our minds are full of envy, hate, greed, fear, anxiety, struggling, fighting, killing, despoiling, maintaining possessions, and controlling others, then we will undoubtedly live in hell and suffer from many nightmares, and our lives will descend into hell when we die as humans. Conversely, if our minds are full of joy, gratitude, appreciation, pleasure, love, the fragrance of beauty, elegance, and unrestrained nature, then we will live in heaven and our dreams will be pleasant, and our lives will certainly ascend to heaven after our human bodies pass on. What kind of dreams are most of yours? If they are usually beautiful and you love everything in them, it is proven that your consciousness is fine. On the contrary, if they always leave you annoyed, sad, depressed, fearful, or terrified, it proves that your consciousness has too many misdirected and harmful thoughts. Our consciousnesses create both our realities and our dreams. We are not aware of our real consciousnesses. The ones that we know are only the surface ones, as the tops of icebergs floating above the water, but what really works are the deep consciousness, which we do not understand very well. Just as the bottom part of the iceberg is much bigger and supports the part that we see, it is the deep consciousness of which we are not aware that support our dreams. The dream world is created by the deep consciousness, and our reality comes from them as well. There are 18 factors which we are unable to manage or control in life, including our inability to choose our parents and the times and surroundings of our birth. Why can we not self-manage and control them? Simply, all is controlled by the deep consciousness, and just as in the dream world, we are unable to manage or control anything. The deep consciousness connects with Tao. It is dominated by the universal laws and rules of life, such as the laws of causality and of attraction. Retribution will come from the law of causality, while checks and balances will emerge from the law of attraction. Thus everything becomes very complex, but meticulous and without any loopholes. It can be concluded that it is easy to reach hell but harder to enter heaven than the proverbial camel passing through the eye of a needle. There is the rub that it is difficult to remove the bad factors in the deep consciousness or to clean the clutter from the passage of life. If those bad factors in the deep consciousness can be removed and if that clutter can be cleaned, then all of your dreams will be great ones and you will ultimately ascend to heaven.
解说灵魂的地域性